Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. So, with the latest Windows update, the power management behavior has changed yet again. They seem to kind of bounce back and forth between never going to sleep and going to sleep at the drop of a hat. We're back in the easily sleeping phase. And what I found is, I think there was an issue with that, but it would actually timeout, send to connect, timeout, send to connect, timeout, send to connect. And this is like, talking about like, 1 second, 2 second, 4 second timeouts on reconnect or on reload. Network is still coming up. And then actually get like 3 different chat connections. So we need to do some protection against that. Maybe see if we can address the outstanding ones, but also keep track of the fact that we're trying to make a connection. And we need to close superfluous connections. If we do in fact get them. But I think I haven't seen it since. I did track down The issue where we would query for channels and then get no streams, because I think that what happens is we were getting a response, but there was a request in flight, but not in the pending list. uh, I don't remember if I put something in for this. I don't think I did. So anytime we lose chat connection, we have to do something to our hosting state because we don't necessarily know that anymore. So this is chat connection. Man. Well, actually, any kind of chat connection would do it. Yeah. Well, there's IRC connection. This goes back to connecting. Auto host status is incapable, but channel status. And we don't just want to do a hard set because it could be live. That is knowable. But this is a type that has a value in it, so you can't test for only that case, except by doing a case statement. So if it's unknown, fine. If it's offline, fine. Really all we care about is, are we hosting somebody? If so, we're going to go to offline. And I think in all other cases, we go back to model dot channel status. So we lose track of that one thing. Okay, and that does still compile. So that's connection loss. IRC. Actually, oh, because yeah, if we unhosted, we might very well be going live. Da, 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 da. Well, yeah, if it was hosting, we are no longer in a position to know that. So I think part and close the only times that would be an issue. Now, these are not going to be easy ones to test. We don't normally disconnect all that much. The reconnect delay multi-connection, I may have to do some emulation of that. Because I can't exactly be putting my computer to sleep while streaming. Attempt to reset. Well, I mean, technically it does kind of go to unknown, but answer you'd probably get is offline if you attempted to figure that out. If we lose chat connection. Ooh, and actually, one of the things we want to do is we want to track which connection. Well, we do kind of track which connection ID we're using. Yeah, we do. We'd have to get more detailed to know if that was the one that closed. Oh, no, yeah, socket event. Okay. So in the event that our connections are delayed, so one thing I could do is I could send an async event back that says like connection pending or something. Although we're not guaranteed. Oh, yeah, this is our messages. That connect will ever do anything? I guess my main problem with that. What if it just kind of disappears into the void? We could still use pending to block, well, maybe use a longer timeout. In any case, we sent a bunch of events. We didn't get the opens or any kind of response until later. Maybe that was just a issue with the timer jumping ahead several steps. We still could have bursted those out. Can we channel status, next host, live poll, next request. Reconnect. So we have connecting with a timeout. If we are connecting, and all connecting knows is that we have a URL and a timeout. Then we get back open, and we set connected. Right, so that's with our information, without our information. So we need to look at the previous state of IRC connection. And I suppose that we should attempt to close the old one because that could have become out-of-date information. Which is, no, I don't need to change the model status necessarily. But I do have to consider on close if we got a close for our current connection. Disconnected, rejected. Connection status. Disconnected, rejected, connecting. Close is for a definite ID. But for connected, logged in, joining, joined, we need to pull out our ID and do a bunch of checking. Connected. We already pulled an ID here. Naming is hard. And connected is just an ID. So we basically do all of this and send a port socket.close. Man, this is getting ugly. I'm probably gonna need to make a function for like connected to was. Because I'm just gonna repeat this exact same code like 4 times. 5 times? Makes me question if I would want to be mashing together connection status and chat room status. That resetting one does kind of imply resetting the other. Else, command.none. Wait, this is closed. I'm thinking about open. If we closed the connection we were on, if we closed the connection we were not on, then we actually don't do anything. I got this backwards. So this needs to take an ID, was ID, a model, chat connection update. Close if current. We've got a model, an ID we were, an ID that, and we're returning a model command message. Model was ID, and then this gets replicated for logged in These are the times you question your design decisions. And that takes care of every case except connecting which I guess we could say and that would accomplish it. Just not compile. Connecting. Oh, because you have now we don't actually see closes very often, so that's a hard one to test. Oh, I could arrange to have a dummy test event on a timer that would issue a close command then on open we need to close if not current, kind of. And we have to do that regardless of our other maybe map default thing going on. So if we get an open and we are in a state that has an ID, so we need a function that pulls an ID out of anything. Out of any state. Then we'll have to return a maybe because not everything has an ID. If we get an open, then based on whether we had an ID, we may need to send a close to the previous connection. Alright, so close if, well, we've actually got the case right here. So we've got current connection ID. Maybe int. So you are nothing, nothing, nothing. It should really be what was that ID? So it's definitely awkward for this bit. Then it's somewhat useful in other places. So maybe that's an okay way to keep doing it. So that is not. So now we have to do current connection ID given model.irc connection. And that's a maybe, so we want to maybe.map that to port socket.close. And maybe.with default command.none. So then you have a possible close, and you are just a possible close. Probably forgot my equal sign again. Yep. $7.39. Oh, I actually had to type for it. Oh. So, I mean, it should be that, but which means that you should also be that. And the only way we can really check this would be to dummy up our open. Must be connect. To send multiples. Oh, we're gonna have to batch it. Socket open, closed, closed, open 0. Unfortunately, we do a full respond on each one. Well, no, that makes sense. We opened, we connected. Should I attempt to keep my first connection instead? Because that just seems unnecessarily spammy. I mean, we no longer have multiple connections hanging out there, which is good. We don't want to be receiving messages several times. I think there might actually be some delay induced by the original timer-based mechanism and the other one, so it wasn't like all right on top of each other. So you normally wouldn't have time be a big issue here. Or they're like literally all on top of each other in the sense that you would want to delay your login process to avoid doing that on connections that would be about to be replaced. Is there a way now every seems like there used to be a way to delay or send yourself a message after a certain amount of time. that gets into stuff with like platform. Map. Actually, I think I might be able to use that for some of the response stuff. No, it's task I'm thinking of. Sleep. Maybe that's in platform? Process. Cannot receive any messages. Well, HTTP is asynchronous anyway, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. Current process. So I can make my login event sleep. And then it's a task. Now that it's the send message, I don't know if you can turn it into a proper and then well, time.now is a command, right? No, it's a task. We've got a bunch of commands. And you can take a task chain it takes a task and does a thing with it. I know there's a way you can emulate set timeout by sleeping, and then as a result of that, you sort of a some you like do a task.succeed. It gives you a task. Does the delay, it does like a task and then into a succeed, which is a new task. And then you perform that entire thing. But for that to work here, we'd have to take all the HTTP stuff back down to, well, yeah, there is no command form of ports or task form of ports. So I can't defer any of that. I'd have to have a new message. And then either use that trick or a time-based subscription. To trigger the okay, go ahead and attempt to log in bit. Well, this will keep us from having multiple connections. That's something. Reconnect. Oh, reconnect specifically only works while we're connecting, but that fires a timed event. Well, no, this is a timed event that ensures that we are still connecting, but we fired these all off because of asynchrony. And then when they come back, we're all stacked up. So I don't think there's any way, because if we're connecting and we're simply not getting a response, we do kind of have to just keep pinging. But the kind of delays we want to maintain our connection and be abreast of things is actually too short for those coming out of sleep situations at the very least. How would it work if I did defer? Chat connection update runs afterwards, so I could have this look for the connected state, but it would still run immediately afterwards. So that would not really be any timing change. It would just somewhat abstract it from the opened event itself. That would kind of move. Da 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 da. Host channel. That would, I kind of like that idea on the sense that it puts all the chat stuff down there. But it doesn't change our timing at all. Alright, so well, we've made some progress on dealing with multiple connections. And I guess we should do at least a little smoke test on, no, because I still have my multiple connects here. Right, there's no batch at all. Okay, connect once. Attempt to better handle multiple opens during reconnect. And we've also identified a possible refactoring here. We go to open. Possible close is fine. Chat connection update. Disconnected, so we want... Oh, well there's auth and login. But we're going to be... open will set it as connected. Connected ID. Oh, no, yeah, that will set it to connected. And if we have auto, so right now, yeah, if we have auth and that, target, just if we have auth, we connect. This would say, but yeah, if we have a target channel, that should be fine. We don't actually need to know that here. And then auth and login are not things we currently process here, so this is still the same. Did I do a logging in state? Oh, I would need to if I did it this way. So that we didn't send it multiple times. So we'd still have to be updating this here. We would not have possible close here. But I do kind of like keeping all the IRC state here. It's connected, logging in. We're going to get back to you. Okay, so then you go to logging in with login. Oh, but this is the default, which is don't do that, which is actually no update. Oh, but that means that we'll process this. Well, I mean, we'll go through this case. We'll see that these do nothing. And we will do nothing. A little bit of extra work to maybe map. So that lets this deal with the possible close, deal with this. And normally, with this kind of thing, we're just going to do this inline as our command. So we set it to connected, and then possibly close the other one. Okay, so normal circumstances connect. We connect, we log in. Where was I sending reconnect? I don't think it's going to make any useful difference. I guess we only really need two to test this. In this behavior, but with just a little refactoring. Yeah, we get a full connect every time. But we clean up our mess. And then to avoid some of that junk, we'd have to have some sort of delay between connection and login. And I don't know of any generic way to, well, I could put them in the pending command queue with API stuff. That would have the effect of delaying them. And then JavaScript should get that and say, yeah, that WebSocket doesn't exist anymore, bud. You closed it. So that would become append requests. I feel like we're probably going to need a parenthesis somewhere. Some model, append requests, command batch. Ooh. Doubled up on that. Okay, our syntax is still borked. Oh, this was... oh, we do need another one up here for this. So is that actually where we need it? Needs a... oh, a list, right. So we don't actually have a batch here. So under normal circumstances, that counts as an in-flight request. Improperly formatted auth. Oh, okay, well... okay, that's why the count is off. Now, how did making that asynchronous? I think the problem here is that's going to make it try to count it. And no response is just a message, doesn't care that it's a network message. But we are going to have to do some sort of... that'll get our count right. But why are we getting improperly formatted auth now? There's connect. Oh, that changed the order because it's not command.batch anymore. So it's no longer reversed. Oh. The login process can be... doesn't need to be spaced out, though. We just want to have a delay before we actually send it. So that... if we get ourselves into this scenario... then we only log in once. But that would actually be a command.batch. Well, can I undo all the way through this? Okay, order reversed. This is going to be a list of command.batch. This stuff. Or a singular list. All right, one of these is you. The port will ignore invalid. Ignore messages to an invalid socket. We set our status to logging in. Wait. No, when we get the next open, and we'll set it back to connected with that, and we'll close our previous one. So we think, and I'm still not super happy with everything. We think that will prevent the reconnects, and I'm just going to have to wait until I have this up while I've got a power up going. Oh, I need to add the response tag. Command.batch. Command.map response. So our count comes out correct. There we go. That did not. Oh, because that should be -1, not 1, though. If I have too many of these. Right, because we never actually get a command batch. It ends up mapping over everything. I'm still surprised. I just think a command map over a batch would be everything inside of it. But this doesn't actually map anything. We're going to increment our count when we send this. And there's no actual response to decrement the count, so we can't use this mechanism. Because this is trying to count in-flight requests. There is no request response pairing in a port. Unless we add some sort of confirmation. Well, no, because we can't. There is no association between these things. I would need to make an entirely new delay mechanism. I wish I could actually detect the circumstances where we do this. I guess I need to do this for that to make sense. So that's going to be instant. We will still log in multiple times if there's multiple connections, but we will close the extra connections and not have them open. I don't know how I would detect the timers. Now, this is just a strict move login step into chat connection update. We say connect if we are in connecting, so that's exactly what that's for. If we send something and don't get a response, like if we say we're trying to connect to let's just do okay, can't establish a connection, can't establish a connection, can't establish a connection. So if we so we are getting, I mean, we are getting, like, closed. Oh, and because we're getting closed, it's resetting our timeout. Oh, I think I actually do need to specially handle this case. So that's not a condition we worry about. Wait, what is connecting? String float, right. Connecting to URL, timeout. Oh, we actually did have a time up here. I guess Firefox is starting to say, you know, you're just trying to connect to nothing. You can wait. Or the operating system is saying, bruh, chill. So I thought I had actually seen that working before, but, yeah. If we were connecting, this really shouldn't have changed. If we were connecting, we really shouldn't have been hosting anyway. Oh, this is actually going to be an unknown connection. Well, no, yeah, if we were connecting, we had no known connection, and we get a close, that pretty much means we failed to connect. So how does that interact with timeouts? So we had connecting at this timeout. We should probably do there, but reconnect. Oh, well, I switched to closing it instead of the code before was closing it. So we might actually just be able to, this might actually just be a leave it. Which is the same, but it's easier to do syntactically right now. And it said, yeah, I'm not even going to give you error messages anymore. You're trying to connect to nothing. So this is what I was seeing before. Just connecting, connecting, connecting. No response even. Oh, that might actually be the first message coming back and saying, yeah, WebSocket closed 0. So the time it takes to get an error, and oh, and maybe it kind of ignores the secondary attempts because that's 4. Do I need to send a pending state when I attempt to open? Well, we are increasing our timeout better. I mean, there's always the possibility that, oh, that's what I was thinking about. If I did do some better tracking, then I could maybe use a longer timeout. If we're getting response back right away, I could use a shorter timeout. Yeah, you see, so there's 1. Took that long to come back. And 4 closed right away for unknown reasons. But we may continue to see these at some rate as we get 2 and 3, maybe 5. No, there's 6. Maybe it ignores some of them? I don't know. Oh, hey, maybe... No, it doesn't even consider that a... It doesn't even consider that an actual request that we can track. All right, I would like a short break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Even more subdued than my... Oh, you can flip the rover at any time now. Neat. I guess in this situation that would be... Oh. Um... Um... Draw.
Welcome back, everybody. I gotta remember to unmute myself.
Okay. But there is another act. Huh? Well, that was a successful run, I guess.
Yeah, it's basically World War I with cannibals.
Oh, that sounds so much better on this computer too. Boy. I stole that from Porthos. I didn't make anybody jump through any hoops or anything like that for it, but I did steal it.
Oh god. At least we can keep this and this powered overnight now.
We have a power shortage.
Well, you know, I wish we could anyway.
So are we all right? Oh my god. Oh. Oh god. Thank you, Pie Maker. Oh, India West. If I come across your grave, I will bury you, sir.
Alright, well, welcome back. Alright, so, yeah, 05162... It seems like we should send back some sort of pending. To acknowledge that the port's there. So then we would know, well, we'd still have to have a timeout. Actually, does, what is it, XML, HTT... Is there a timeout parameter? Actually, I think Elm lets you specify a timeout parameter too, but this is not going to be an Elm connection. Yeah, WebSocket, new WebSocket. Protocols. With timeout and retries. Okay, so this is kind of doing the same thing. Where we just do a set timeout, and if the timeout's not good enough, we close it. So that's kind of what we could do. If we did get back a pending, we'd have a connection number. Then, if we incremented our timeout and retried, we could send the close before attempting to open again. And I am at times thinking that either we should do more in JavaScript or we should have a different library that's more in JavaScript. But I'm kind of trying to keep logic and Elm where we can. So this is, we finally failed. This would say that if we go to do a reconnect, but unless we get something back from JavaScript with the connection ID, or we move connection IDs to Elm and say open with this, and I would like to use this identifier for the connection. We have no way to cancel that request, so to speak. Actually, having Elm say the ID for this request is interesting, because I've been throwing some URLs back and forth so you can identify, oh, well, I was connecting to this site, I was connecting to that site, but I could, well, that allows some simplified use cases where you're only caring about one or two URLs and then knowing which is which. Whereas having IDs kind of means we need to have some sort of connection tracking state in Elm land. Port ticket.connect. So this would have to update our model with next ID or something. And then close if current would take care of what sending. No, reconnect would be canceling a previous connect if any. Yeah, so connecting URL would have to have, man, we're connecting. If we're disconnected, then we change our state to connecting with a timeout. That already has a timeout value on it. When the timeout happens, we send the connect. And then there's a timeout until the next one happens. We'd be able to get back. So disconnected could not send a command because we would asynchronously receive the pending response with the ID. If IDs were driven from Elm, we could go disconnected pending or connecting and reconnect. Then connecting would have the ID of the connection we were attempting to make. How do we want... What I'm trying to get to is that if we do a reconnect and we had a pending connection out there, we would say, yeah, go ahead and close that. We want to try again. Okay, we did get 2, 3, 4. So the ordering is weird, but it does eventually get back to us on every attempt, and it's only doing one at a time on the back end itself for the same address. Yeah, connect needs an address. If it was an arbitrary type, I'd have no way to do an encoder for it. I don't really think I can just pass a... Well, like, I could encode it and then pass a value through. So I can't say, and here's the ID I want to track it on. Without knowing something about what an ID is. So right now connects are fire and forget. And if there's delay, like if 2 comes along and connects at the last minute, we'd end up getting things kind of out of order. So either I need to send back a connection attempted event, and then treat that differently in my... Well, that would give you an ID that you could close when you attempted the next one. I'd need to track 2 states in the app. One for we requested a connection, and one for there's a connection working. Or attempting to do something. Or I send an ID from Elm, which means I have to track the next ID in the L model and have ways to update and remember that every time we request a connection. But that does remove the next ID stuff from here. But it would mean all of the JavaScript stuff that looked for IDs would have to apply to all connections with that ID, because there's nothing stopping you from just sending 0 for every single connection. And right now, we can search for an arbitrary socket currently. So handling it here allows us to guarantee it's unique, more or less. But we'd have to send back connect. We'd have to return something from here, either the WebSocket or the ID. Or, well, we could just have connect send a connecting message, which we would then have to have another state in the application where we have like connecting two forms of connecting, one with an ID, one without. And if we attempt a reconnect while we are connecting to a ID, we are then able to close the previous one. Which right now seems like the smallest, if annoying, change. Error, open, close. Connecting. So the ID is actually in the socket event part. For connecting, we would still have the URL around to treat it like an open. Index. Connect. So this is going to be like an open. So we do this. We did not do that. Connecting ID, URL address. Now that's going to break things. Ooh, we broke something else. Map. Oh, tee. Oh, I imported a... Did I import event? No, it's port socket. Connected. Connecting. So if we get a connecting and we had an ID, and actually that itself should be a close. We could probably do that in reconnect as well. So now the awkward thing here is we have connection status. So we have connecting string float. Let's look at that ID. And of course, now there's two cases I have to deal with for all my timing stuff. That's that connecting timeout. So if it's closed, URL. We're just leaving this alone. If it was closed while it was requested, then we are disconnected. If we get a close, we had no known ID. Close implies an ID. If we had an ID and we get a close for that, on reconnect, reconnect, we got a reconnect event. We could be requested with a URL. Or we could be connecting with an ID. Open. Oh no, we know the ID here. This is just a port socket.close. And this goes back to requested. If it was requested, we've received nothing back. We just need to update the timeout. We don't have a URL here, so we just have to go to Twitch IRC, command.batch. Disconnected goes to requested. Does requested... Yeah, that will end up doing something. Current connection ID... IRC connection. $761. Requested. Close if current. That will set it up. It's not really requested. It's trying to connect, I guess? So requested isn't actually... requested a lot of the time. So this is more like connect. An attempt was made to use an object that is not or no longer usable. Probably involves a close somewhere. Alright, so we've messed up our state somewhere. So that would happen in chat connection update. Probably wasn't exclusive. No, because that defaults to nothing, so that shouldn't do. So this is saying connected. We send this. Oh? Oh, connecting. Oh, I wanted to carry over. I never edited that. I want to carry over my timeout. Case model.irc connection of connect URL timeout. I guess that only applies to this field. Although we're also attempting to get stuff here that's going to do all that stuff. Connect timeout goes to, so this goes to connecting. Oh, and this is where we actually have to, record that. Connecting idle timeout. Maybe making that connecting instead of connected, but we want to preserve timeout. Connecting, and then this will take care of if that ID was there, and then all other cases. Man, we just said we were connecting. Is connecting ID base timeout. Can't establish connection. Okay, closed. Okay, but why do we keep resetting our timeout? Is it this thing? Oh, I didn't wait for that to compile. No, it's not this one. That would imply either disconnected or close. Ooh, close if current might actually be. I think I was doing this in some of these cases. So socket event close. Yeah, anything with a timeout. You might want to reconsider. If it was connecting, I did have some stuff here and I forgot about it. Wait, no, if we got a close and it was connecting, then we go back to here. Yeah, connect. Yeah. This should have already been set. Oh, no, because we want to maintain timeout. Reconnect at 2000, reconnect at 4000. Connecting to, oh, one only got closed down here. Connecting 4, closed 3. Connecting 4, closed 3. So the timing is a little... Wait. Yeah, ID. Close if current. Wait. Oh, this is updating internal state, not sending messages. Okay. All right, so that actually gets us our exponential back off without a whole bunch of things being in flight. Wait, but 2 just closed. Connecting 2. Is that in fact from here? Yes, that is from here. Oh, JS WebSocket closed. But it doesn't have a number. Okay, 0 is closed there. Connecting 2. Connecting 3. JS WebSocket closed, WebSocket closed. Connecting 4. Yeah, we never closed 3. And there's 1 showing up. Connecting 1, connecting 0, connecting 1. We didn't close. Well, we closed 0, but 1 is still hanging out there. No, not pending requests. We want. We can send it from there. This is connect. We requested it. We did not get an ID. We were there, so we can close it. So reconnect is giving me our state was connect. Got connecting, reconnect, connecting. Connecting should have closed 0. Okay, closed 0. We don't know which connection this is in reference to. We hit reconnect at connect. We get a connecting. Is that in? Second connecting ID. So that is the event we get back. WebSocket connecting 0. To connect, we got back a 0. We attempt to reconnect that. The connect sends us back a connecting event for 1. We told it to close while it was loading. Then our timer fires off. Reconnect. We're attempting to connect with timeout 4000. We get back connection 2. We were in the connect state. Close. Oh yeah, this needs to... what does close if current? Sets it to connect, but resets the timeout. Wait, no, this is the close. Got that 0 closed. Reset us to connect state with the same timeout. But we lost 1. WebSocket connecting 1. We got a close that reset us to there, so we lost track of the was ID. So this probably just needs to stay? No, this needs to care if it was the same ID. Which is more like this. With the only difference being maintaining timeout? And if it was connecting, we really aren't as concerned about the rest of this. Okay, there's 0, 1, 2, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. 8,000, 2, 3. Wait. But we immediately got a feedback for 3? Oh, I wonder if I was like stomping all over myself because I wasn't tracking my IDs properly. But some of those messages definitely seemed delayed. Maybe they started to get delayed because we were stacking things up? So we got it connecting for 5. We got a closed event. So now, whereas before we would get these much, much, much delayed closed events, we're getting the can't establish connection immediately. Now, I probably need some sort of, like, state transition helper for connections. That has, so we get an event that identifies the state we want to be in, and we look at our old state. And like if it's a different connection number, then we close the old one. That might be a better way to handle that. So now we just have to, because that immediate fail is a little bit disconcerting, especially given the long delays we had before. Make sure we can actually still connect to stuff. Now, you see, this is why we test things. We are immediately closing. Didn't reload. Okay. Didn't wait long enough. Okay, apparently that undo didn't work. Or I didn't save. Or one of those things didn't work and resulted in a syntax error. So why, oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why, are we immediately closing these things? Okay, we can close from a notice. We can close from joining chat state. We can close from WebSocket connecting. We can close from WebSocket open. We can close from reconnect. And I'm not too worried about the chat stuff right now. I might need IDs in there. WebSocket connecting. Okay, nothing is fine. It's not going to be able to close anything. That's the only close we've got. What? What? But, that's the only one that's happening. Yeah, we're getting that immediate close again. Joining, join, parting shouldn't be an issue. Hey, Porthos. Hope your day's going better than this mystery. Alright, we need complete lines here. We're going to switch these back. $1,000. Why are you closing? Oh, from WebSocket connecting. Trying to handle better, like if the computer goes to sleep, I have a connection to Twitch chat, which would like connect 3 times because of the weirdness while it's trying to reconnect. So that was close. I guess what I need to do, I've been lazy and put the 1,000 in several places. Initial reconnect. And then just add a, well, that'll affect the first one. Well, so we wait for the first one. Because I need to take better note of what this actual message is. Yeah, it's so the app in. That's what I'm doing. What I'm making is I've got Hostable, which is better seen in its ordinary incarnation as a list of people that I've looked at and have some reason to approve, sometimes with qualifiers. And lately what I've been doing is hooking it up so that if I'm, not paying attention, it can actually pick usually the person with the least viewers, because that's part of their small streamers, and pass on a new host. But my attempts to clean up my connections are now closing all of my connections. So what the heck do we do to the syntax here? This is not making sense to me. Oh, because we're doing change word, and that. You're fine. You're fine. Destroyed a bracket. So it's going to take a bit longer to get the first one out. But I don't want it spamming it. Web socket connecting. No, that's that one. Did I? Oh, I forgot to update the comments. Or that comment. So that's probably actually open. Oh, no, we've got an error. What? And we've got one of these super annoying ones, too. So let's switch this back. We'll figure that out. Oh, I can't get a compile right now. So I can't switch it back. Oh, I left the command 9 in here. And because it's private mode, we lost all of our data. I thought I'd at least have the lifetime of the browser window, not the tab. So I'm going to get authentication set up again. Streams. I don't even need a dummy stream for this. Okay. WebSocket connected. Okay, so that's from the error case. So we think that had to be from WebSocket open. Wait, WebSocket open? Oh, this is doing an unconditional. This needs to be conditional. Socket event connecting. No. Because this used to be the first time we got an ID. Now this is the first time we get an ID. So I probably don't even need to do this. Because we should take care of it here if it was something else. So that one should probably be okay, or at least it's as okay as it used to be. And we got the long timeout because it was going crazy. Alright, and we can connect normally again. Close. That's all the places we were doing that. That ended up being a lot harder than we expected. Alright, so that sends a confirmation. That tells us which one got closed. We split that state into 2 states. Because of the changes, it didn't recognize how that code moved. That case got split. That had to do with the split case. Changed our identifier, changed our timeout. New state, new state. New message that has to be decoded. So all of that, track, socket, ID of pending connections, so we can close them. If we attempt a new connection. Alright, we'll see how that fares against real use. But meanwhile, I'm running later than I'd like. So that's it for the programming stream. If you're here for programming, thanks for stopping by. If not, or if you just want to hang out for a little while, I'm going to be doing some Step Mania to make sure I do something besides sit around all day. Thanks for watching. And thanks for hosting. Let's see, I don't need to host right now, but I should probably reload that just so I'm using the latest code as we do further things here. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, Porthos. Even if I'm not explaining things very well. I'm normally doing code in the mornings. Every other day or so going on to Step Mania, just about now. Earlier if I can actually get through everything. But yeah, if you want to hang out, I'll be back in a little bit. If you don't, thanks for dropping by, and I'm gonna have to reset the stream to change some settings, but yeah, be right back.